Hi, so if you've followed the very quick live video that I just posted, and you've followed the link, it's about how we can turn anybody that's shooting in those high 80s can, when they strategize, probably shoot in the low 70s. And yeah, I want to put some detail to some of the reasons. This follows a little round of golf I had this week, a 74 at Maylands, and it definitely could have been better. But there were some really key factors here. Some of those were 29 putts. Now, I think there was one that was probably over the 15 foot, but they were all within that range. Yes, the putting stroke I have is okay at the moment and can deliver about, I don't know, somewhere about 80% of where I'm trying to put it, probably about 80% of the right distance. But the key factor is being able to read the green. So being able to read the green compensates for either a putting stroke that's not delivering its full potential, and to some degree one that has a little inconsistency, although I prefer to have a bad stroke, if for the want of that phrase, and be able to repeat it every single time, than have something that was good or bad, inconsistent, because that leaves you a little bit open to imponderables. So learning how to read a green is probably the most important factor of what is a third to a half of every round of golf you play. There was a couple of other really important factors to this round of golf. I made quite a few, as the putting stats tell you, some up and downs, and these were from 50 yards and in. Now, I think that the fact that I'd like to get over to you here is that I used exactly the same technique for each and every one of these shots, and yet some were little low runners with an 8 iron, some were just a little bit harder hit with a wedge, some were using a 64-degree lob wedge where I had to get it over some sand, and then the wind was behind it downhill and run down. I'm not saying there wasn't some skill and half decent technique in there, but the fact is it was the same technique. I thought about the shot, I thought about the club that was most likely to give me that result, that was to give me the highest percentage of success. Definitely had a really good pre-shot routine, and then just trusted in the stroke and made the stroke. And I think that this idea of just having one technique and changing these clubs, but it's also obviously being able to assess each situation to see what the challenges were. So I had the very opposite on the 17th of the one over the sand with the wind behind. It was lots of green and grass before I got to the green, lots of green before the pin, strong wind coming at me uphill. So yeah, I didn't want to leave it too imponderable to any bounce on the green, which had been pretty consistent, to be fair. So yeah, I just hit the same shot with a pitching wedge, flew a little bit lower, flew it a little bit longer, yeah, and came to rest 3 foot. Slightly misjudged, it went past the hole, but we managed to make the one back. Again, I want to try and bring some reflections on what skill and what talent are, because I actually, in that 74, only hit, it's actually 7 greens in regulation I hit, and I also hit the last 3 in regulation as well. So of the first 15, I only hit 4 greens in regulation to get that score. They actually included a penalty shot where I put one in the ditch and a top driver. The skill level was low today. When using an iron, so from full wedge to 6 iron, which was probably about 6 times, I didn't hit the green. So of the drives, I think I missed a 14 where when we had the driver had to be used all day long. Unfortunately, it wasn't one of these occasions where we could play safe because the wind was strong and it never seemed to be behind. So I only missed 4 fairways with the driver, which is not too bad stats. And of one of those, I made my par, and I probably did have chances to make pars on the others. So I think that the fact that if we can put that driver, if we can make a controlled driver swing, i.e. that's more like the feel that we put into the wedge, into the driver, we can hit more fairways, then hitting the fairways with your driver is really fundamental to helping you succeed. Yeah, I made 6 ups and downs, and that was between lob and gap wedge, and I think all but one of those I made the up and down. So look, you fundamentally don't have to hit the ball well to score low. What we do have to do is strategize. We have to think about the shots that we're trying to pull off and get factors like wind to work with you, not against you. Fundamentally, one of the biggest skills in golf doesn't involve any talent. Reading greens, it's far more scientific based, and then making the calculations required. But when you make those calculations required, you take one of the biggest challenges out of the game. All we got to do is put it on that line, and then as long as there's enough pace to get it into the hole, it has a chance of going in. Even if it's too hard, it can actually hit the back of the hole and come down. So look, I'm not telling you this story for any reason but to say, to ask yourself, how many times have I shot between 85 and 89, and that could have been in the 70s, if I just controlled my game and replaced a couple of the haphazard strategies, used really good powerful strategies, and then shoot those scores and get that much more enjoyment out of it, or win, or reduce your handicap, whatever it is. But if you do want to know more, if you do want to know how to read greens, if you do want to get a chip in action that can fundamentally work between clubs, and you want to be able to get some feedback from me about when you're on the course, how to strategize to get these low scores, then just give us a ring. Take advantage of the free 30-minute call and let's chat about it. But in the meantime, stay safe.